central defender in the way that he likes to glide across the park. Has tons of agility.
Otherwise, if something happens,
Welcome back to round 7 of the NPL Victoria. We apologise if you encountered any technical difficulties in the first half between Dandenong City and Morland City. I am your commentator for today, Neil Simons, joined by NPLMVIC. And 2 goals in the first half to Thomas Giannakopoulos and Kenny Athieu, 2 new arrivals to Dandenong City. Hajduk getting the goals in the first half. Jose Sanz now looking to chip John Hall. It's very hard to chip the tall frame of the Adelaide-born goalkeeper, John Hall, but Jose Sanz wanted to try his luck, the Chilean international who arrived in the off-season. Now Athieu looking to race forward past Michael Tsitsipas. Back to goal is Iakonis. Looked down the line, but no players in support. Corey Thomas might have to deal with a lot from the on-running Brady Quinn. Now Tharjath looking to break clear. He beats past one. Julian Tharjath. In tow with Seb Hernando. Now Cuba. Spall. Finds Cuba. Looks towards the back post. Fulton is there. It's a very tame header. It's very much into the safe hands of John Hall. John Hall, of course, formerly of the Croydon Kings, arrived across from South Australia in 2023, won the Dandenong City Player of the Year last season. And of course, prior to that, was at Adelaide United and the Western Sydney Wanderers. And he made several appearances in the A-League. Sharjath now racing through. Hernando is there for support. Jose Sanz looking to get the strike away, but Jackson Lino was there to create a bit of trouble for Morland City in these attacking phases, although they're looking very lively. Now Matt Spall. In behind pass towards Cuba. And John Hall will claim yet again. And Hall will launch one towards Jackson Lino, the former Heidelberg United defender. Was at Victory's Academy for a few seasons as well. Very rare that you do see young players break into the NPL Victoria, but he's been one of those players and has established himself in this league alongside the man on the ball right now, the goal scorer, the opening goal scorer, Thomas Giannakopoulos. Now Jack Webster finds Iakonis on the right-hand touchline. Back to goal. Kim finds Athieu. He'll loft ones towards the right-hand side. It's Will Bauer bearing down on goal! An excellent defensive challenge from Corey Thomas. And the Welshman stepping inside and doing very well in that instance. And probably prevented a shot on goal from Will Bauer.
Brilliance from the captain. Definitely a goal-scoring opportunity. He just snuffed out. Had to be clean. He was in the box. And he won the ball fantastically to prevent any more danger for his side, who are currently 2 goals down. Dandy City, unrelenting, they cross it in. Haven't dealt with it yet, Moreland, they do so now. Fulton wants to go on a run. Joth ahead of him. Wanted to use his pace. That one's been thumped back towards the keeper, who's trapped it well and distributed finally. Controlling. Bit of interplay between the two. Does nicely. Tsitsipas. He's got to be careful. He's on a card. He's saying, look at the lino. He hadn't raised his flag. But Michael Tsitsipas has to be careful. He has been issued a yellow card already in this contest. You feel like he's walking a tightrope at the moment. And any comments towards referee might not bode well for him. Bauer linking up nicely with Martinovic in that play. That culminated with a foul conceded by Michael Tsitsipas. And once more, the City have themselves a free kick. Athieu and Webster, the obvious targets. As the 21-year-old Hernando looks to whip it in, he does so. Edwards clearing, headed back in towards that region once more. Sanz clearing for now. as City continue to build. And Jack Webster's come high up the pitch. He's there with Tzidis. Nothing doing. Certainly having a word to the referee was Quinn. Thought that his captain might have been impeded.
Jack Webster going on a run down the left channel. Not something you would have expected from towering centre defender. Who's really been at it all season for Dandenong City, and after spending so long at the Bentley Greens, arrived at the club in 2014 and has made himself a legend at that football club. He's come a bit down the Dandenong Highway and has really impressed in his first 2 seasons at Dandenong City, under his former coach, of course, Nick Tolios. It's an exquisite turn from Fletcher Fulton, but Will Bauer wins out. Now it's Hernando. Run down that right-hand touch line and create some space for himself, the Queenslander. Hernando still going. Fulton providing adequate support. Bit of trickery from Hernando in the corner. Now Lino looking to create space in possession in the middle of the park. Dandenong City, it's Webster. Kim, also a player with A-League experience with the Brisbane Roar. The City went out. Now Jose Sanz, a good breakaway here, now through Cuba. Darjath is there in the middle. He was the intended target for Thomas Giannakopoulos, doing his defensive duties. Bouncing ball arriving. Looping ball over the top. Kenny Athieu might get to it first, and he does so, but stepping inside and ensuring that will only be a throw-in would be Newman Ali. Dandenong City with a wealth of experience in the park, both young and old, it has to be said. Danny Kim, in his mid-20s, has A-League experience, but you also have Kenny Athieu, who's now in his 30s. Combine that with the likes of Seb Hernando, that man, Thomas Giannakopoulos. You have a really good mixture of football experience to add to a esteemed coaching panel with the likes of Nick Tolios, of course. And you do have a recipe for success, not just within the short term, but within the long term. And they've gone up and they've certainly silenced the doubters. Now City looking upfield. Lino, a massive miscue. Now Tharjath. It's towards Fulton. Had the makings of a potential wonder strike. And looking for a wonder strike of his own was Matt Spall, but that's well away from goal. And John Hall will take his time to retrieve.
And for a split second we thought perhaps Neil, you might be jumping up and making a wonderful call for what could have been a wonder strike. It certainly set up nicely for Sproul, who you could argue rushed that effort towards goal, not really testing anybody. All happy to watch it sail beyond his goal. Well wide, in fact. As you can now see the home side doing what City were doing to them in the first half, and that's just the high press, holding a high line. Athieu the target. Going to sit up for Hernando. Athieu now. Hot property. The ball in the middle of the pitch as Fletcher kept going. He lays it off. Carlos Sanz running out of real estate. It was offside in the end. Just overcooking that pass. Fulton did go on a bit of an adventure, you could say, having received it. It was a bit overzealous with the pass.
Yeah, Fletcher Fulton, one of the more standout players at this football club. He's really impressed in his top flight experience that he's had so far. Lino with another miscue. Unfortunately for Hajduk, it's one out by Seb Hernando, and they'll get the throw in. Giannakopoulos sends it right into the CB Smith grandstand, but not into the CB Smith light pole, which has now been vacated. It's gone to, I believe, one of the grounds here at CB Smith Reserve. Not this central pitch, however. It is swung into the box. Batted clear by City. Flicked in yet again, but Webster's head is to it. Now Bauer and Cuba doing battle. And now Martinovic send it up to the bench, the home side's bench, but Morland City with a couple moments in the second half. Can they get the goal they do need? It's Cuba, deflected, but John Hall was very well to the anticipation there and reacted in due time. A graphic designer by day trade. John Hall designing one of many of your favourite NPL teams' graphics for this season. It's Athiu looking down the channel. And it's a clear handball. In fact, a clear foul against Kenny Athiu. And Norman Ali, who's come up from North Sunshine, wins the foul against Kenny Athiu. I'm not sure if he would have ever thought that he would have been in that position last season. Ali now, beautiful flick from the Irishman. And City looking to progress yet again, but Lino was there. And a nice touch from Athiu. Will unleash Iaconis. Got space to his right. Will Bauer is there, but the pass is slightly overcooked. Condolian will claim.
Condolian reading nicely for the home side, who, as time ticks on, feels as if a 2-0 score deficit, hard to find something, could potentially mount a comeback. They've had a few noble losses so far this season, Moreland. They held their own against league leaders South Melbourne in their round 2 clash. This man on the ball was sent off. He sends it over the top, just bouncing away from Carlos Sands. Jose Sands, rather. I'm sure at the halftime interval, the message from Ostich would have been to his number 4, his centre half, just to keep the nerves. He's on a yellow card, offside flag issued, much to the dismay of Quinn. Linesman getting across and making the call. And a substitution has been made for the home side, a double sub in fact.
We'll see Apaya Kuno and Curtis Miley make their way onto the deck, coming off Asra Karamad and also Newman Ali. It's a bit of goal-scoring acumen in the form of Apaya Kuno with 3 goals last season in the NPL2 competition. Was involved in that stunning end to the 2022 season as well in NPL2. Jose scored 3 goals in top flight last season. Harjath looks towards Fulton. Overlapping is Miley. Can he manage to get a cross in? He can. Towards a back post. Kuno is there. It's managed to be kept in by Diego Cuba. It's a Kuno again. Towards the back post. The acrobatic attempt from Tharjath. It doesn't exactly sit for them in the manner that they would have wanted. And racing through is Hernando now. A bit of a shirt pull from Matt Spall. He's really imposing himself and will win the ball in the end, but were it not for Will Bauer to step inside, but excellent work from Matt Spall on Seb Hernando. And Kenny Athiu is not very happy with Lachlan Keevers. Not exactly sure why, but protesting to the foul call.
Hernando with a fine battle, which he lost out. You can notice already the home side are building following the substitutes that have come on. It's set up for him. Akuno let fly. It has ended up, I think, at the Fortuna railway station. But there's certainly an energy he's brought to the game so far, the substitute. Couldn't really wrap himself around that one. You can definitely feel a spark around CB Smith Reserve. Of course, Apai Akuno played in the Welsh Premier League. 3 goals in 19 games last season. So we wonder what energy he can provide for the home side today. He's isolated now in the right side of the attacking third. He's earned his side a corner. And Lino so far, Neil, well, he hasn't exactly been able to clear the ball. Sure, the way he would have wanted to, the fullback. As that ball has deflected off the City defender. Cuba will cross. Slowly building into this contest now, the home side. Most of the attacking action has been towards this part of the field. It's crossed in by Cuba. Has that hit a hand? They look towards the referee. You can hear the Morland fans jeering for a penalty. They'll get a corner instead. And Cuba will do it all again. Definitely a fine distributor of the football, Diego Cuba. What can he conjure up? He crosses in towards the back post. Quinn might have been there. They jeered towards the referee. Whether that might have hit a hand or not, we're not too certain. As a substitution has been issued by the away side.
We'll see Kurt Kuaku make his way onto the park. And off coming is Seb Hernando Kuaku, a esteemed member of this Dandenong City side, his 3rd season at the club, formerly of the Adelaide Blue Eagles, and also plied his trade with Inglewood United in NPL Western Australia. So a well-travelled man is Kurt Kuaku. The ball zipping in the air in the Faulkner wind. But City will win out the throw-in. Struggling to really soak up the pressure from Morland City, who have looked a better side in this second half thus far. Jackson Lino now on the touchline. And Matt Spoiler will ensure that that ball only travels about 10 yards or so up the pitch. And Jackson Lino will have to do it all again. Iconis back to goal. Sid Cedars high and long. Tarjath clattered by several Dandenong City players, and Iconis could be through here. Well, Michael Tsutsidis with a thunderous challenge into the feet of Damien Iaconis. Got the goal last week in the Dandy Derby, but Dandenong City, of course, fell 2-1 last week. Winless in 3, of course. They will look to be on the winners list. They're able to retain this lead. Lino searching towards Athieu, his height, directing the ball towards the perimeter of the area. Now Kuaku getting his first touch of the ball. We'll play it back towards Jack Webster, under some pressure by Jose Sanz, but deals with it incredibly well. It's Iaconis, calls for a handball against the attacker, and those calls are answered by Lachlan Keevers.
64 odd minutes played so far in this contest. Moreland have definitely built themselves into it despite being 2 goals down the home side. You feel as if they might not be too far away from finding one of their own. They've certainly steadied the ship. They've not allowed Dandy to play much of their attacking football. They've had to resort to going long. As that pass has gone astray from Waters. The foul nearly occurring. Bauer chasing relentlessly, remaining composed. Thajith. We found Sproul. You can see all the Dandy City shirts now behind the ball. Contrasting to what we saw in the first half. As Waters tried to find Jose Sanz. And you can just see the high line being held by Moreland so far. You feel like they're going to try to force a Dandy City mistake. As it's a fine ball trying to find Saunders. So rather Lino. As Akuno now wants to go for a run. And conceding a deep throw in. It's Kawaku. He'll look to jostle towards the edge of the penalty area. It's thrown towards that region. Sands amongst it. So is Cuba. Teasing ball. And finally cleared by Bauer.
Miley. He's played a lot of his football in Tasmania, has Curtis Miley. Formerly of the Olympia Warriors and also with Clarence Zebras, should I say, and played senior football as a teenager as well, which is remarkable. Towards the back post, there is Miley. And they'll do it once again, Morland City. Oncoming is Diego Cuba. His brother, also Sion Cuba, is a fantastic free kick taker, and dare I say, sort of set piece taker in general. It runs in the family. Of course, Sion Cuba scoring a free kick at this ground several rounds ago against Morland City. To the near post he goes. Sidsidis is there, trying to muster up a shot of some sorts. There is Tharjat, and it's pondled in by Morland City, who get their second goal of the season. And a debut goal as well for the Chilean international Jose Sanz, who comes up at the right time. Jose Sanz, what a time to do it for his side. And dare you say, they're going to cause Dandenong City a lot of issues in the remaining 25 minutes or so.
CB Smith back to life inside, well and truly back in this contest. And the Chilean will be happy with that debut goal. Doesn't matter how you get them. All that matters is that you're on the score sheet, and he's chasing relentlessly here. City happy to rekindle backwards. There's a lot of time for Moreland to find an equaliser, or for City to reinstate their 2-goal buffer. Jai, not much around for him. And Athieu was a target. Edwards has a task to do. Athieu thought he was impeded. Thomas standing tall for the meantime. Jai. It's a fine pass to try to find Carlos Sands, who flicks it over the top. The substitute might be in. And Moreland definitely starting to make the argument now. As City, their captain does well to earn the ball. Now Sands, instructed by his captain to drive. Cuba, can he settle his feet and dispatch the shot? Diego Cuba. And that one, unfortunately, towards the swimming centre here in Fortner. And you thought when it propped up for him, Diego, he might have tested the ability of John Hall. Couldn't do so there, Neil.
Are you a frequent visitor of CB Smith Reserve and its surrounding facilities, Adam? I'm very surprised at your geographical knowledge of this wonderful complex we have. But yes, for Diego Cuba and for Pai Akuno before, struggling to really drive the shots into the top left or right corners, and miscuing it in every describable way possible. And this is what Dandenong City will do. They'll really compose themselves in these remaining phases of play. As I think we actually did see a change. Damon Inokonis did make way. We'll make sense of who he actually got substituted for in a few moments now. Good switch now towards Fulton. Receives into touch. Kim is there for support. And arriving is Miley. But Will Bauer with the timely intervention. And in fact, last touch did come off Miley. And that change has been confirmed. Brad Plant making his way on for Damon Iaconis. Now in his second season at the club, formerly of Scarborough, Guisborough, where he actually won promotion to the National League North, the 6th tier of English football. Plant, Miley. Well dealt with by Morland City, happy to compose themselves in possession, playing with a lot more confidence. David Stoich's men. And Corey Thomas now. Lofted towards Spall. Back with Thomas. Kadolian. Michael Tsitsidis was involved in the build-up play for that opening goal for the home side, and that's a brilliant switch towards Fletcher Fulton. And Martinovic can only clear it out of play. I think it will be Miley to throw this in. Back to goal is Jose Sanz. It's a high clearance from Webster. Miley will attempt to clear it in. Keep it in, should I say. Unfortunately, he can't, and John Hall will have a reprieve defensively for his side.
And you mentioned before that Tsitsidis likes a provocative pass forward. Certainly it was a fine switch to reach the fullback, who, well, in truth, made a meal of what it could have been. As 18 odd minutes remain before the stoppage time is to be added on. Moreland have steadied the ship. They have clawed a goal back. And you feel as if they could be hunting for an equaliser. Jose Sanz trying to turn. And beating him for pace was Kawaku, who's continued his run. And here's Kurt. Kawaku. Plant. Of course, has entered the field. Look how high the press is from Moreland. Spearheaded by Diego Cuba. Just trying to pass out of it now. The away side. Remaining composed. Hall stepping up rather high. Jaith applying some pressure. As Miley is confronted by Bauer. Cross towards the area, not dealt with yet by Moreland. Tackling hard was Sproul. Just trying to keep it away from Brady Quinn. As Jackson Leno jostles across to take the throw in. Still a healthy amount of time left for the home side. The away side want to try to keep them at an arm's length. As Leno intercepted by Thomas. Now the substitute, Plant. Was he impeded? Certainly thought he was. As Thomas, experienced, and keeps possession with the side in blue. City trying to keep it inside their attacking territory. Long throw. Couple of players competing for it, getting up nice and high. Was Akuno, who's applying some pressure. Process for the ball. As Sproul wants to go quickly. Cuba trying to flick it on, might have touched the blonde tips on his hair. Jaith underneath it also with Kim. Thomas sends it up and high. Fulton had to trap it, had the sun to look at also when confronted with the ball that was aerial. As Fletcher trying to spin away from Martinovic, still keeps it Fulton doesn't concede the foul. They get the clearance there. City for the meantime. Kawaku couldn't wrap his foot underneath it. Bouncing everywhere. All into the path of John Hall.
Real scrappy feel to this contest, and this is not the way that Dandenong City will like to play. They want to keep things very regimented on the ball. Play with that fluidity that we've been used to in the first few matches of this season. This game really suits Morland City. They might find a breakthrough here now. Sands, Tharjath can't quite get the touch he needed. And City deal with it well. It's Quinn looking to bypass the option there, and Matt Spall. Corey Thomas. Such poise from Thomas to Spall now. On his right-hand channel, stepping inside. Dispossessed. Bit of a sweet turn attempted by Bradley Plant. He then attempts a switch of his own, directed towards the opposite right back in Curtis Miley. Should I say left back in that phase of play. And City will attempt to compose themselves yet again. Webster looks to go forward, but forced to go back. The John Hall, that is sitting very nicely in the air for Morland City to compose themselves. Now Sands back to goal, looking to flick it away. Sands again looking towards the back post. And City seem a little bit rattled here in possession. Now Athiu, space opening up for Hayduk towards that right-hand side, but well dealt with by Miley. Now Thomas in the centre of the park. Look up field for Sands. Flick over the top. Jose Sands can't bring it down. He's brought to ground. But Lachlan Keevers says, no way, Jose. Giannakopoulos looks towards Webster. Kim. Looping ball over the top. Athiu is the intended target, but Michael Tsoutsidis gets it clear for a brief moment. Now Plant. Nice little one touch to find Bauer. What can he muster up here? He can't do much. And then a very strong challenge into the back of Curtis Miley. And it will be won back by Morland City, who play quickly towards Fletcher Fulton. Rising highest. And John Hall will take possession.
No way, Jose. Trying to make us break in the commentary position is my fellow commentator Neil Simons this afternoon, who is definitely getting everyone in a laughing mood around us here at CB Smith. This contest still well and truly underway. Still a lot to be played in it. City want to try create some breathing space. Holding it inside their territory, inside their half of the field. On the opposition half of the field rather. As Webster, he's had a couple of ventures in higher, more advanced parts of the pitch this afternoon. As a triple change to be initiated by Nick Tolios. Whether or not he's going to try see out the game or have a few more attackers perhaps enter the fray to ensure that a full stop's been put onto it. Bauer has made way, as has Quinn and Danny Kim, all taking refuge on the bench. Lambaridis, Athorinos, and trying to just get some clarity amongst the third substitution. Three new introductions to this contest. Lambaridis, the ex-Oakley Cannons and Club Rouge Youth Academy prospect. Had a few appearances for the Brisbane Roar. And a goal, in fact, in that time. Was involved with the... Well, it's actually a part of Ange Postecoglou's A-League Championship double. Back all those years. As Cacao does well. Allows Bauer to go on a bit of a journey himself. Cuba hitting the deck. And might have unintentionally hit the hand of Corey Thomas. And a free kick now to open up.
See Timothy Atharinos as he tried to break through there between the legs of one of the central defenders. And it's just come on, and it seems to be limping around. This is not good news for Dandenong City. Atharinos, you have to say, one of the signings of the season across the NPL Victoria. It's not good signs for Nick Tolios' side. Seems to be okay, though, but yeah, a bit interesting to note that Atharinos did come off a bit short in that instance, and hopefully he'll be okay. But George Lambertaridis will look to let one fly. Of course, was a member of Nick Tolios' Bentley Greens as well. One of the more understated players in this competition, George Lambertaridis. And if he were to deliver from this position for Dandenong City, and potentially edge them much closer to the top 6, this would mean something for Dandenong City. There's Lambertaridis straight into the wall. That would definitely hurt, but can Dandenong City muster up something following that set piece and find a secondary effort perhaps? Of course, that final substitution, James Exidius making his way onto the park as well. Cuba. Fulton. Kuna will win out first. Back to Cuba. Looking for Miley in transition down that left channel. And space opening up for Hajduk now. Space in transition. Looking to let one fly from range, but doesn't quite find the fencing, but there you go. Dandenong City trying to get themselves that go-ahead goal to close this contest out, but haven't really done so, and they need to be much more solid defensively.
That's where my geography of CB Smith and Faulkner tends to run dry. Not sure on what street that might have been, but that ball has ended up. But meanwhile, Moreland have it inside there. Box. Fulton trying to make something work. Not allowing the ball to trickle out for a corner. Initially was the number 19, James Zidius, rather. Maybe a third go on that, Exidius. But Morland have a corner. Time slowly coming against them now if they are to find an equaliser. Cuba, the set-piece specialist. He has to make has to find something special here. As Cuba whips it in with intent. And John Hall, that's routine for the 29-year-old, and he's happy to claim. And they want to get it moving quickly. And Lino has options ahead of him. Atu, one of them. That ball's going to set up nicely for Kenny Atu, and having to be alert was Chinta. That might have been Sproul to keep it away from Kenny Atu. As Waters, that was his passing piece on the contest. He's making way. As Moreland make another substitution. With Jake Chanta coming on. As Lino happy to take his time. Does it short off the chest nicely. As Atu on the edge of the area, it opens up. Is there a chance to tame one from Atharinos? Looks like he's going to dispatch that to the top right corner. Tried to deceive the keeper by going towards the bottom left of his goal. He's equal to the task as a Chilean. Sands heads it on nicely. It's whipped in. To no fruition. The jar amongst it. Lino unable to clear. Shinter also around it. Kauka in possession, does well. Remains composed. Going on a journey now as the fullback. He kept going, went on a fair journey. Atharinos. And there was Sproul just letting the lino know about his obligations. Dandy City trying to see his contest out, unsure on how much stoppage time could be on offer. They're certainly taking their time and told by the referee to get things moving. Was Lino.
Lino with a flick on. Athiu just utilising a bit too much of the body there, and that one-on-one with Matt Spall. These are crucial chances for Morland City. Corey Thomas now. Mr. Moreland City. Sending it long. Lena will let it clear to John Hall, who will bide his time. Also an Ollie Ruers as well, John Hall. 3 appearances in the early 2010s. Helps when you have such experience and poise in the goalkeeping stocks. Kuaku. Lino. Atharinos has seemingly switched wings. Looks to bypass Matt Spall, who wins the foul in an instance. Thomas takes it quickly. Now it's Tsidis. Extremely high line from David Stoich's men now. Makeshift back 3 in possession. Miley now. Centre circle is Thomas. Towards the right-hand side is Spall. Look at this, flick that towards Tharjev on that right channel. Cuba can't receive in board. Numbers back for Morland City, however. Athiu. Sumptuous ball over the top, directed towards Will Bauer. But Matt Spall wins the header, but fell on the deck. Maybe a bit of fatigue for him. Miley now. Intercepted by Plant. Kuaku drives into space. He's got Bauer on that right-hand channel. Atharinos was making a forward run in the middle. Now Plant turns away onto his left. Last ball in behind. It's Plant. Into the byline. Turns away again brilliantly. They're toying with their food now, Dandenong City. But Cuba is there for support. Tharjiath now picking up in the defensive region for Morland City. He's got a Kuhn on that right-hand side, but decides to go left. Misdirects the pass. Miley. Brilliant ball to that left-hand side, but it's too far for Fletcher Fulton to reach. And Dandenong City will feel very comfortable with the time they have left on the clock. And they've played out this second half pretty diligently well, considering the conditions.
Although the sun is gleaming on CB Smith reserve today, we do have our long sleeves on. The majority of those in attendance. Still a cloud of uncertainty surrounds this result as Athiu wants to venture forward. That was Curtis Miley. It's just wanted to exchange shirts with Kenny Athiu. Had a fair hold of it. Of course, that can be done post-game. Referees seen that a foul. As City are happy to let the clock just bleed out. Cuba just having a little chat to the official and the Dandy City players in that vicinity. As City taking their time to get this restarted at a time not far away from being the verdict. Trying to grab some confirmation around the grounds to see how much added time there will be. 4 minutes. Has been signalled by the official. As Miley got a touch, keeping his feet nicely was Akuno. Farjoth has options ahead of him. There's a few Dandy City shirts to try to weave the pass around. Lino does well. Giaconopoulos back to Lino. They're trying to keep it in their opposition part of the field as Dandy City want to break the lines, and they might do so here. Atu ahead. He's in behind Kenny Atu. Can he finish the game for City? He recycles back. Lamberidis, they're working it to Atharinos, who steps away. Deflection. Condolian had to scramble on his line to keep that from becoming Dandy City's third in stoppage time. And the goalkeeper, putting the ball on the spot for his opposing side. They took their time in the build-up there, Dandy City. Atu perhaps had a side on goal, which he was happy to let roll for Lamberidis. However, they do have a corner, Dandy City, and I think they're going to take refuge and hold it as much as they possibly can. As Atu propped up for Kenny, who wants to have a dig towards goal. Kenny Atu trying to add a second to his tally this afternoon. Of course, he has scored a penalty in the first half. It was bending, but not beyond the post of Alex Condolian, who has limited time to get this one moving.
That was vintage King Kenny Athieu, breaking the space on his right foot and nearly curling one into the bottom right corner. And Kokuaku can't break away because Hayduk have given away a foul, and all players bar Alex Condolian are going to make the pilgrimage up to the box. Diego Cuba standing over this one. Game hasn't been pretty for Dandenong City, nor for Morland City. But might there be light at the end of the tunnel? Cuba. John Hall was there. And Kuaku returning favour. Still alive for City. Kuaku, ball over the top. Matthew is there. Miley having a lot of defensive work to do. It's one back in possession by Dandenong City towards that right-hand channel. Miley again. Akuno now. Keeps it in. And play will continue now with Diego Cuba. Looks to his left-hand side. Back to Cuba in the middle. It's high and long by Atharinos. Lachlan Keevers looks to his watch. And it might be the final roll of the dice for Morland City. Brilliant ball in behind by Thomas. The cross arrives at the centre. And John Hall claims. And that might just be enough for Dandenong City this afternoon. A lung-busting run down that right-hand side it was by Jake Chianta. But to no avail in the end, it seems. Lachlan Keevers still not blowing his whistle. Maybe that corner that we had in stoppage time will be that we need more minutes added on. Miley, very poor throw in, but he wins back possession. Do Morland City now. This time Thomas. Matt Spall. Well and truly the final roll of the dice. Neat ball in behind by Chianta. Spall looking to turn away from his marker, but he gives it away to Lino. Now Kuaku has to get it clear. And so does Giannakopoulos. And the final whistle has been blown by Lachlan Keevers. The first winning three for Dandenong City. Morland City's wait for a point in the NPL Victoria continues. 7 games, no points. But they have added a goal to their goals for tally this season. It was Tom Giannakopoulos and Kenny Athieu who delivered for Dandenong City. Returning favour in the second half with Jose Sands. But for Morland City, they fought valiantly And Michael Tsitsides seems to be very upset with Lachlan Keevers. Adam, your summation of the fixture? I think Morland City did very well in that second half and were pretty unlucky to not end their time at home without a point.
The home side have had a fair number of noble losses now. I was having a chat with their club director at half-time. Now remaining a tight unit, Moreland, despite results not going their way. And today could have gone either way in essence. City with the early couple of goals and the Athu penalty. Enough to be the difference. Away from home, they grabbed their first win in 3. Job done on the road for City. Moreland, it's once again back to the drawing board. And you wonder where both sides will end up at the culmination of the NPL season.
Yeah, I think it's a really apt summary of what we had this afternoon. And I think for Dandenong City, they can really hold their heads high. It's not easy to go away to the bottom sides of the table and snatch 3 points at times, but they've performed very professionally and have demonstrated all their qualities on the park, not just from a defensive position, but from an attacking position as well. And their youth and experience have combined in a fantastic way this afternoon. And Nick Tolios, it's a well-oiled machine down at Frank Holohan, and most certainly so, they've reflected that mentality this afternoon. Bye for now from CB Smith Reserve. I've been Neil Simon. He's been Adam Palombi, and we will see you on an NPL broadcast very, very soon. Thank you, and have a good evening.